Welcome to the Dirty Folks Daycare. I am your tolerologist, Dirty Folks. We are simulcasting on the Comedy Report channel, so shout out to the guys looking at the Comedy Report. Because this is going to be economic comedy. So, there's been banks closing like a mofo for the last week, bro. It's bananas, right? And a lot of these banks are solving on paper, but they didn't make the cut. I thought about it for a minute. Like, yo, was I even gonna do a show about this? To be honest with you, I um, I didn't really feel a passion for it. There was a lot of people already doing things. Then this morning, um, the angle hit me. Cause for those who know me, know that I love banking, man. That's my passion, man. Like for real. If I could have been anything other than a colored, I would own a bank, right? The amount of black people that tell you what you cannot do because they're black and you're black and they think that they should be able to do what you do by osmosis is daycare level of tolerance, man. Just daycare levels. But, you know, y'all hear Jada Kiss all the time. Jewish lawyer, Jewish banker, black shooters. It's the way y'all see yourself, man. That's why you gotta rebrand. Black is a bad brand. But with that being said, so I listened to a few shows about it. Ironically enough, a lot of white guys are blaming women, particularly women of color, the woke, as they say. They're blaming the woke because of billions of dollars out these banks are given to diversity programs for lesbianism and LGBT community. So when I say women of color, you got to understand that we're talking about not only black women, Pakistani or what type of, the Indian women from India, Latino women, and of course, I mean, just of course, black women. I mean, white women. White women magic, man. Give it up for Karen. I got a different take, but let's go over it real quick. I'm gonna make this real brief, man. For those who care, y'all already know. But this particular article is from CBS News, and they said what happened to Silicon Valley Bank. Basically, they had a bank rush. This Silicon Valley Bank was a bank with a lot of billionaires, the Oprah Winfrey's and the such. And because this is how you know it's a Tyler's fault, by the way. Listen to what I'm about to tell you very closely, so you know it's Tyler's fault. One billionaire got horrible customer service and told all the other billionaires to take their money out on the same day. And we all know who has the worst customer service. Women of color. In this case, women of color, we talking about not necessarily the dark skinned ones. We talking about those sand color ones. You know what I'm saying? The ones who just women of color because it's convenient. You know what I'm saying? But when it's time to get down with colored issues, all of a sudden,
I'm Italian. I'm Asian. I'm from India.
those colored women that come and infiltrate y'all shit because y'all play crayon games. Anyway, so because of horrible customer service, all the billionaires took their money out the bank. Nothing else happened, just horrible customer service. Watch this. Silicon Valley Bank, 16th largest bank in the US with 210 billion in assets, uh, was taken over by regulators and might become insolvent. Second biggest bank failure in history. Blah blah blah. SVB's collapse spooked customers at other banks, including clients with deposits exceeding the FDIC's 250,000, and raised concerns about possible runs at other institutions. People are afraid of banks because the billionaires took their money out the bank. I need y'all to understand that. That's the lemur thing, right? One person. It happens to everybody. Black people do it all the time too, right? One person just like all of a sudden you're walking and one person just take off and run the other way. Everybody else run behind them. They don't even know what's going on. They don't know if it's a shooter, if it's a dog. They don't know what's going on. One person run, everybody run. That's that's mass panic, mass pandemonium. That happens all the time, micro and macro. And to realize that you can shut down banks because one person, that right one person, got horrible customer service. The bank shut down so quick. The bank did what I tell heterosexual black men that's not on parole to do. They rebranded. Within the course of a few days, watch this. Silicon Valley Bank, the UK arm, acquired by HSBC Bank for £1. £1 is $1.21. They sold the brick and mortar, the logo, the trademark, the copyright, whatever the case may be, everything that made Silicon Valley Bank its own institution, sold it to another company for $1.21. That's a boss move. And didn't sell any of the debt. That was some gangster shit right there. So now it'll be absorbed by H because location. It'll be absorbed. They'll change all the names on the side of the bank building, and it'll be something else. Just that quick. Something with better consumer confidence, right? A better consumer experience. I want to vent real quick. We're gonna get into this. Hold on, but I want to vent real quick. I just talked myself into a rant, but it's gonna be a quick one. So earlier today, I was on Bernard Riley's show, and somebody was in the comment section talking about some who would want to be in a tribe with guys like dirty folks. I was like, what? A guy who regularly goes on the Fight Club and talks about how black men ain't shit. Constantly talks about how he cheats on his living girlfriend. Constantly talks about how he wants his daughter to go to college because she can't trust these niggas. Which is equivalent to Biggie saying, get your daughter this college plan so she don't need no man. A man who disrespects his home, disrespects his manhood, disrespects his brethren by saying they're not good enough for his daughter, is trying to tell a man who tells other men to love each other as they love themselves. Why would I want to commute with a man who loves himself? Think about that, gentlemen. Y'all gotta watch who y'all follow because occasionally they might wear a suit. I don't go that lane, but I've heard Palmer say it, and shout out to Mr. Palmer for this. It's like, man, he wore a suit his whole 20s. He not wearing the suit again. And that's how I feel, man. When y'all listen to my stories, listen to my stories. It's like, yo, 17 years old. I'm selling, um, I'm doing corporate sales door to door, right? In the midst of me doing other shit. I had to get out of Chicago, yo, with some crazy shit going on. By the time after that, had a job as a travel agent, had to wear a suit. After that, had a job as a mortgage broker. I was a mortgage broker for 8 years, had to wear a suit. If all it takes is a suit to make niggas follow you like the Pied Piper playing the flute, y'all might as well be white women telling black boys,
You speak so well.
niggas mistake articulate with intelligent every day. And that's why y'all got dykes as mayors. Anyway, so that's my quick rant, man. Stop listening to niggas that got dreams and not plans. That's all. Anyway, the global banking giant HSBC has come to the rescue of the UK based branch of Silicon Valley Bank with the acquisition, and they acquired that bank for $1.21. $1.21. That's less than a chicken, yo. That is less than any part of a chicken. I would have given them a whole chicken, man. I would have given them a whole chicken. If you could buy a whole chicken for $11, then you can get a live chicken for like $3. I'd have doubled the offer, man. I'd have gave them one live chicken. One live chicken. I'd have doubled the order, bro. But this is the direction I want to go. When I watched video after video about it. I read article by article yesterday. Yesterday when it first happened. I try to stay up on banking news, and I read a lot of insightful, well, not a lot. It's not a lot of insightful niggas on social media, but I read a few insightful um articles and posts on Facebook about crypto, and all it made me realize is this: something I always tell you guys, but it's never been more impactful than right now. Money's important, but it's not everything. It's only a tool to be used in exchange for goods and services, right? I saw this on a zombie game. There's some game about, it's always a zombie game, man. You know what I'm saying? It's always some going on. And I took a screenshot of the zombie game I saw. And what they were talking about is at the end of the world, they were going to save people who weren't affected by the zombies. Right? And one of the guys they got was a banker. His name was Leadon. He was the president of Leadon Bank, apparently. I thought this was ironic considering what's going on. And all he had was these things, right? They had a cash box. Um, that's useless in the time of a zombie apocalypse. A luxury watch, $300,000 watch, useless in times of zombie apocalypse. They were taking the money and burning it for heat and fuel because paper money is useless in the time of a zombie apocalypse. The banker's pre-outbreak newspaper, stocks, options, corporate bonds, useless in the time of a zombie apocalypse. The only thing they found that was useful was food. Because food is love. Food is love. I saw that and I said, yo, I should have got that bank for that chicken, nigga. That's where I was going with it. They should have gave me that bank for the chicken. For one live chicken. Because that's what's important in these times of dire straits. America is propping up their economy with stimulus money that came from taxpayers. Basically, the entire nation is becoming a welfare state. And it'll affect the people the most who are national globalists, people who vote Democrat, toddlers. It'll affect them the most because the priorities they have is just taking down the patriarchy. But when everything goes to hell in a handbasket and they can't afford social services because they have to worry about municipal services. So when you have to make a decision between, do I pay for Section 8 or do I pay for the power grid for everybody else? We have to make decisions. Um, we're raising inflation. So now the eggs are $8 when they were just 89 cents, but now they're $8. So when we decide that we're not going to give a stimulus increase to EBT card users, and instead of giving them more money to match the inflation for them $8 eggs, we say, yo, we can't afford to give you free shit at all and take away the EBT. When things really go to hell in a handbasket, the only person left is going to be the ones that tried effectively, and then they're gonna have slaves, baby. You're gonna have slaves. Um, and that's what I got from this banking thing. What I got from this banking thing is what I said was going to happen anyway. I've been telling people, those that's my Facebook friends, I've been telling people since 2017 or 2016 that they said that there will be a global banking collapse by 2026. They've been talking about this for 10 years. I've been that one dude yelling off the roof like, yo, we got to do something. Not the only person, but as far as the blacks go, one of the only people. Because everybody else cares about stuff like that. Black people only care about finding a toddler, at least on social media. Miss say, "What up, Doc? All boomers shut up. And when you shutting up, put a suit on, at least button up." Yeah, that's crazy. So here's the science behind it, guys. Here's the science behind it. Um, and this is what I want you guys to understand. Everybody knows what's wrong. Very few people want to fix the problem. I was watching this. Whose stream was I watching? The Better Bachelor. The Better Bachelor was talking about this, and he said, "Man, it would have been better for the banks to crash in 2008, so that the market could reset itself, than to artificially prop it up so it'll be even worse." It's gonna be Armageddon. Real quick before I forget, man, make sure that y'all sub to the Oak Summers page. Do that for me, guys. Y'all didn't subscribe. Y'all ain't subscribed. Um, and I want most people want to try for the wrong reasons. They have these thoughts of utopia. They're good at one thing that gets them money in today's market, but it doesn't sustain them. And I'm gonna say this because I'm gonna make this one short. So I'm kind of sort of blocked from the Fight Club, not by Fight Club though, but by Aaron O. Because Aaron O said something one day I just couldn't understand. I couldn't fathom. Well, I could fathom it, but I couldn't understand it in my personal life. He said that black women are just as good as black men, if not better, because they can earn the same money that black men earn. That's what he said, and that's his opinion, right? He said black women can earn as much or more than black men, so black women are as important to black men. And then he talked about natural law, and he went against natural law. And he started talking about, because I can't fish, I can't hunt, I can't pitch no tent. Shoot, if mama need to change their tire or something, you gotta call AAA. Ain't no man out there changing tires, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, I mean, bragging on having absolutely no survival skills. like it's a flex. And then everybody in the motherfucker was co-signing them, right? The same niggas that's talking about, man, yo, same people talking about, man, we can't follow a warlord, but they can follow a toddler. Once money ain't money no more, all them positions is gone, and she gonna be looking for you to change that tire. When it all ends, the most important people are gonna be the ones who can fix a flat and the ones that got chicken farms. And I don't even mean the gloom and doom of that situation. I mean the gloom and doom of this. In order for you to be a people, right? As a tribal group, the biggest job of any tribe is to feed its tribesmen. The biggest job of any city is to feed and protect its citizens, which cities with dyke mayors do a horrible job at, and that's why everybody moving out of cities with dyke mayors, right? The biggest job of any leadership group is to take care of the people in that group. And when I say leadership group, I ain't talking about dictator. I'm talking about the supposedly, unless you're colored, the best and brightest of you all and the most courageous of you all. So the smart person can do smart person stuff and the shooter can enforce the smart person's will. Right? When that happens, you have a community. You're communal. When you look at communities that don't have a smart person, they just end up with no shirt on running through the forest. You know what I'm saying? Keep the main thing the main thing. What this banking rush showed, it should have showed anyone, is that the main thing has been taken away. Money's important, but it's not everything. I say that all the time. Every other black person I talk to says money is power. Money is not power because right now with these bank rushes, there are more than half of the FDIC money allocated to ensure people with accounts are going to the ones at the Silicon Valley Bank. More, almost half. Bro. That's bananas. But that's not true. A quarter. They're paying out $41 billion. There's only $200 billion in the FDIC, and they're about to pay out, and that's for everybody with an account anywhere. And they got to cash out 41 billion right now. These people never got clean water in Flint, Michigan. These are the people who never did anything about the spillage that went on, the toxins in Pittsburgh. I mean in Philadelphia in Ohio. These people are taking care of the liberals who spent $5 billion on lesbian affairs, right? Now, and say this for minorities. People are funding women to destroy the world. That's what liberals are doing. They're funding women to destroy the world. And all these gay ass androgynous boomers who trying to make up for the fact that they sucked dick in college and made single mamas everywhere and you know what I'm saying, and smoke crack and the kids smoke crack, but they still put their kid in Ukraine to take $40 million out of money and never go to jail. All those people are propping up the upper echelon, and they're if they had to pay out everybody right now, they could not because they paid the top earners. If they had to pay out you with your $3,000 in the bank that you just wanted to use to cover your bills, and one day they just say, "Yo, we shutting down the banks. It's a total seizure. You lose your 3,000, but your landlord or your or the bank that owns your mortgage still wants you to pay that 3,000, even though the bank froze your 3,000. Now we have chaos. All politics is local. All communal is local. Communities are local, right? They'll be all right. Those small towns in Iowa that everybody has solar panels on their roof and you know what I'm saying, they own water tower, they'll be all right. Every place that northern blacks live, Midwest, up north, it's gonna be messed up, man. So and maybe it should be. Maybe it should be. Maybe it should be. Anyway, Hugh Savage says, did you know one of the oldest banks in the UK was started with a wooden stick? I did not know that. I know that I know that the New York Stock Exchange was started under a tree. So I don't see why a bank couldn't be started with a stick if they could start a whole stock exchange under a tree. You know what I'm saying? It started the stick under a tree next to a wall. That's why it's Wall Street. That's why it's Wall Street. They would lean on the wall and stand under a tree and they'll trade stuff. I'm glad you said that though, because I was about to break out, but I want to say one thing before I do. We have these long philosophical conversations on other people's channels, not on mine. Um, and we talk about culture. Everybody has an argument on what their definition of culture is, but it all comes down to culture. Poor people's culture is instant gratification. It works for women, doesn't work for men. Instant gratification for a woman is going on the dock, saying to herself,
I want to be on that yacht.
taking her shirt off, shaking her boobies, and now she's on that yacht. Instant gratification. Men are thinking, I want to buy a yacht. Much longer process. Much longer process. Since culture, for the minstrel class, you have to use minstrel examples. In sports, every team says they have a team culture. But then in the midst of that team culture, there's a league culture, right? That's why you have I can't think of his name right now, but that's why you have analysts saying stuff like uh, Larry Bird and Magic Johnson played against plumbers and car mechanics, right? That's which is wild disrespectful, by the way. But with that being fair to that, that's why if y'all guys ever saw the movie Any Given Sunday, I'm gonna show you the clip. If I can find the clip before I finish doing my little what I'm about to say, um, there was a clip on Any Given Sunday, and Jim Brown was in Any Given Sunday, right? And Jim Brown was part of the builder class. They built that culture, right? See if I can find it real quick. I ain't put Jim Brown. My bad. Nah, I can't find it. So there was a scene. Hold on, I might have found it, guys. We're gonna work it out together. Let's see. Let's see if I found it.
Still have some teeth left in their head. To tell you the truth, they remind me of my ex. They do.
What more I can do?
Seven of them hated me.
Doesn't make sense. My not having a home. A life. game is all that matters to me. Because it's pure.
Just so
Four
we have no
quarters,
ambiguity.
you cross the
Here's what I
line, you score.
I am a huge fan of this guy either getting himself a lobotomy or maybe even getting
It's safe.
or a dog or a cat.
Life isn't. Life.
I'm just pausing because I don't want them to kill the stream because they think I'm trying to copy. You know what I mean? These are two old Grizzle vets that were around in Super Bowl 10. You know what I'm saying? Since Super Bowl 8, when the AFL and the NFL were merging. And I want you to hear what Jim Brown had to say.
Fucked. It's a new world, Tony. I mean, in my day, we used to just be happy to get the goddamn job. I mean, I used to shovel liquor in the off-season, sell used cars, insurance. Some of the guys just even wrestle. But shit now, prima dogs.
Let's bring that back. I want y'all to hear that again, man. Listen to what he said he had to do. This is Jim Brown, baby. Cleveland Browns, only good player ever had. Living legend, bro. Just listen to him, cause he's speaking from a place of understanding, bro. This is really what was popping back then. Listen to it.
The world, Tony. I mean, in my day, we used to just be happy to get the goddamn job. I mean, I used to shovel liquor in the off-season, sell used cars, insurance. Some of the guys just even wrestle. But shit now, prima dogs. Bodies that are year-round great, but cracked just like China. It's TV. There you go, Coach. Change it.
Culture started from somewhere. Somebody said, yo, let's catch pigs. Then somebody else said, yo, instead of running through the mud trying to grab a pig, why don't we get that pig skin, since we're going to chop up the hog anyway? Let's put pig skin and throw some cotton on the pig skin or whatever they use, wool, whatever, and let's just play with that. And then the kids down the block say, yo, let's organize as teams. Then somebody say, yo, maybe we should have matching t-shirts. And then they went out there, because the original football, they didn't have face masks, they didn't have pads, they just had jerseys, and they would just go out there and play. And then somebody said, yo, this is kind of fun, let's monetize it. Then people said, yo, I want to play with the best of the best. I'm going to play with you guys 4 months a year, but I still got to do something else on the off season to take care of my family. I'll be happy if I could do this for a living, if I could play football for a living and make what I make at the factory. I'll be okay, right? I'll be okay. If I could just make what I make at the factory, I will play football. Now everything's about instant gratification that came 40, 50 years off the backs of the people who built and created the culture. All of a sudden, there's merchandising, there's video games, there's ad space, there's there are analytics so the geeks can get in. Everything was a branch of the trunk of that culture of, yo, my block against your block. People think you're crazy when you tell them to begin at the beginning. Just begin at the beginning. There's a matriarchal mindset that everything should be instantaneous. Everything. It starts so young. If it takes you 15 years to become a professional basketball player, that's about the time, right? From Pop Warner through AAU, 8th grade basketball team, high school, 1 year college. You come to the league, you're 19 years old, 20. You've been playing since you were 4 or 5. Takes you 15 years to hone and craft your skills to be one of the best 600 basketball players in the world, right? And you know what happens from day one? Mama goes to your Pee Wee Pop Warner coach saying,
My son gotta start. He better start. You gotta let my son start. I give you some pussy if you let him start. You like titties? I let you suck my nipple. Let my kids start.
she didn't teach her kid shit. She never played catch with him. Immediate, instant gratification. This is my son. My son needs to start on an organized sport with no training, no coaching yet. And then if you coach them hard, mama come back.
Don't be mean to my son. I'm gonna take my son off this team. My son can't be doing all that. You don't talk to my son like that. My son late time he gotta do extra laps. My son don't do no laps.
And that's the culture that goes with the color. You understand what I'm saying? People say Dirty must be tripping because I'm like, yo, when you build, don't include the toddlers. You got to build with the bros and the toddlers got to find you. Then go through the secretary course the same way that I tell y'all that y'all can't even get the tribal information until y'all finish the tolerology course, right? Because without a code, then you just out here. That's what colors are right now. They just out here. They talk about the culture of other people, how other communities and groups are doing so much better, but they never talk about the code. They know the code. That's why they know their sundown towns. They know the code. That's how they know to take their shoes off in Japanese restaurants. They know the code. That's how I can say industry and they can immediately tell me what ethnic group runs that industry, from gas stations to restaurants to laundromats to who's in tech. They see the code. They just don't have a fucking code. And because they don't have a code, they think that anybody that's laying down rules and criteria is wrong because everything's about a goddamn crayon. Men need to build from scratch. Begin at the beginning. And don't trust them new niggas.
Hey, y'all! Masters are coming! He's a coming, y'all! Masters are coming! Here we come!
Look, guys, you asked me to take...
Go back to the banking analogy. Once you do that and you begin at the beginning, then you create your own conch shell, right? Your own stick, your own shilling, your own type of crypto. You know what I'm saying? For the modern day, right? That will be today's conch shell. Crypto will be today's conch shell. You find your own means to exchange for goods and services around other people who agree to exchange their labor, their skill, their goods or services with you for the demarcation of what you said the exchange rate is. And you can do that everywhere. There's a reason that you can't spend a Chuck E. Cheese token anywhere except Chuck E. Cheese. But you can spend it at every Chuck E. Cheese. You know what I'm saying? They have their own currency that only works in their own dichotomy. The same thing with Disney bucks. Begin at the beginning. Start from scratch. Tribe up. Tribe the fuck up, man. Y'all scared. Let me take a quick break. Just to remind y'all that you got to take your tolerology to get to the tribal courses. So
My congeniality is fucked. I have no sensors and I need to be stopped.
Y'all got to learn how to stop your toddler instead of, you know what I'm saying, train your toddler. Stop trying to love your toddler through a dysfunction so you can be with the guys and do what you got to do. Toddler tales are crazy stories that could only happen to me. Each tale is endorsed by Toddlerology and the Marry Your Secretary courses. In a world where toddlers are only loyal to her employer, learn the skills needed to train your toddler to work at your relationship like she works at her job. There's courses for every level of your relationship status, including polygamy. Need support? Join scheduled study groups with other tolerology members. Click the link below. And now, back to today's story. Low-key, I have no idea what Nazarite talking about. But that's all right, though. And I know, bro. Let me make sure. I don't want to skip nobody because I'm on nigga wireless. I want to make sure and not come through. If I gotta give anybody a shout out. Nah, ain't no shout outs. Oh, there's a shout out. Shout out to Money Making Mitch for the $5 cash app for banking fees.
Mama back.
Oh yeah, his name ain't Money Making Mitch no more. Not his name, Mineral Mitch. Mineral Mitch. Shout out to Mineral Mitch for the $5 cash out for banking fees. Oh, on that note, as always, love each other as you love yourself. Feed the pack. Tribe up.
The daycare. Welcome to the daycare. Welcome to the daycare. Welcome to the daycare. Stay away from cities with dyke mayors. They spray the pipes major. Don't play with your life, player. Or shake the dice, player. But if you got a quota, then stay away from toddlers. These bitches are fight promoters. Welcome to the daycare. Welcome to the daycare. Welcome to the daycare. Welcome to the daycare. Train your toddler. Please train your toddler. Whippings, timeouts, take her allowance. Cause I swear she will destroy your life if you allow it. Fucking, I'm tired of rapping. Yo, Lo, bring in the choir. Welcome to the daycare. Welcome to the daycare. Welcome to the daycare. Welcome to the daycare.
Why did Daddy say so?
Because we were talking about every night, I wanted some boyfriend, so I'm moving out.
Because Daddy told you you can't have a boyfriend in his house? So you're moving out?
Yes.